about stuff. Like, I renovated this house pretty much throughout, and I have now sold all my renovation tools, and every time I turn around now, I'm missing a tool that I need to, to do some little thing.
Yeah.
And it just seems like every time I turn around, I have something I need that I don't have anymore. It just went out the door, sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Judy.
Oh, good morning.
Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Judy. Good morning, Chester.
Oh, Chester's here too.
Yeah. You guys have great timing. We just turned it on. I just pressed the button. This is...
Where are you, Bill and Cheryl?
Oh, Cheryl is away from the computer at the moment. She'll be back in a minute. But we're going south of Calgary. We're moving in about 10 days.
Hey, let me just say this is the San Carlos Computer Club. I'm Scott Stimson from International Computer Solutions, and thank you guys for joining us this Tuesday at 10 Arizona Sonora time from all these places that I don't think
I'm
is
not
San
getting any
Carlos.
sound.
Chester, we can hear you just fine. Chester? Maybe volume? I don't know what others.
I think the problem is me. I had to
Yes.
use a breaker this morning, and I think I'm screwed up.
Try restarting it. I don't know if this is sign language for start, but regardless, welcome to our meeting. Gosh, I just realized I have the wrong number on all.
I have sound now.
Excellent. Welcome, Chester.
Hi, Chester.
Good morning.
I am document.
I have an important question while you're fixing your document.
Please go ahead.
Do you have plans to see Mr. Putin and President Trump?
Personally, no.
Really?
No. In fact, I don't even think we know where they're meeting.
Well, according to Trump, they're meeting in Russia somewhere. He doesn't distinguish it.
He doesn't distinguish Russia from Alaska?
No, and neither do some of the Russians. I saw this morning that some of the news guys are talking about, Alaska used to be Russian, and maybe it's time that we move the borders back in there. You guys are next.
Release the Epstein list. I mean, what? It's. I don't even want to comment on it. It's all ridiculous. It's all ridiculous. Yeah, just the entertaining the idea is ridiculous. It's as ridiculous as entertaining the idea of Greenland or Canada. But we'll see.
Well, there's a tremendous amount of security risk on both parts. So I would think they would pick an island or something that somebody's not likely to get to.
I just feel like he's Barnum and Bailey. He's just creating a circus. They're real issues, and he's distracting us from.
Yeah, well, knowing how Trump operates, he certainly isn't going to hide. He's going to make a photo op out of this, no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I just don't know if the rest of us will have access to him. You remember during protests, he cleared out a street to go out on it and hold up a Bible.
Oh, careful. Careful, Scott. You're getting into politics now.
Well, that was not the intention. This is San Carlos Computer Club. This is the document I've got on my screen that I sent out earlier. It's full of topics, some stuff that I had pointed out last week that we didn't get to. So you may have already read some of these things in here. I'm going to drop the link in our chat in case you need access to it quickly. Should be coming there now. But as often, I would like to listen to any issues, technical issues, computer-related, technology-related issues that you folks may have encountered this week or find interesting, or news that you've come with. There are a number of topics that we mention at the top of the hour. I mean, basically, this stuff has been in this document for a long time now. The Bill of Digital Rights, where I am doing the bed and breakfast, smartphones for dummies, the VPNs we don't recommend, and leftover from last week, we were talking about mirroring an iPhone or casting an iPhone with Jim. And there's a nice little YouTube video here talking about it specifically with a Fire Stick. And in general, I found, well, not in general, I found this information by doing a Gemini prompt that I've copied here. What are the recommended methods to cast from an iPhone to an Amazon Fire TV stick? And it gave a compare and contrast between two different methods, two different applications, but in summary said that it is slightly more complicated with a Fire Stick because it doesn't have native support for the iDevices. And so you have to add that support. And this is kind of the conversation that we were having last week when Jim was trying to do this. And it clearly explained, I felt very justified because it clearly explained exactly what I was trying to explain last week about the difference between casting and mirroring. I didn't use the terminology, I don't think, of mirroring, but the idea that there are various apps that can cast your device, having that app on the device, such as Netflix and YouTube represent casting apps. If you're signed into the same accounts on both devices, then you can tell one app to cast to the other device. Versus mirroring, which is the idea of the screen in its entirety is going over to another display. So anyway, I just bring that up in reference to last week. I did not find a better recommendation than what we had been talking about last week, Jim. And if you were to want to cast or mirror to a Fire Stick from your iPhone, then this DoCast seems to be the one. Yeah, I believe it's the DoCast, which I have not used myself, but in this video they talk about how it's the closest to feeling like a native app. The other options, AirScreen, I've played with before, require you to install an app on both ends. Very kludgy because the device you're casting to needs to support this app, whatever app it is, whatever third-party app you use. All the other solutions I've seen require you to purchase, possibly. Some of these apps are free with ads, disabled features. But it requires you to run the app on the device you're casting, your iPhone, as well as a version of it has to be compatible with where you're going to cast to. So in a Fire Stick, that's fairly simple because it's an Android platform. At least it is for this. But if you wanted to cast to a Roku TV screen, that might be an issue. If actually, that's not an issue because Roku supports AirPlay on an iPhone, so it's a bad example. A Samsung screen that only supports Meerkat. Maybe you can't install that third-party app screen. Or maybe you're in a circumstance where you don't have permissions to do the install of the app on the screen that you want to cast. So those would be the cons of using some other app. And this do cast, and I recommend watching the video to make sure that what I'm telling you is true. But the DoCast, you install it in your casting device, you install it in your iPhone, and then that's what gives you access to the other casting platforms that. Yeah, Judy.
My question is it, why do you all have Fire Sticks? Why don't you have Roku sticks or whatever they're called?
Well, Judy, for me, and I think a lot of us here, the easy answer to that is that the Fire Stick, because it's an Android platform, it
Yeah.
allows us to load up applications used for other services, like downloading content, like using Kodi and Streamio. And
Okay.
Roku does not have an open platform in that aspect.
Okay.
There's some direct side loading that you can do with Roku, but it's actually a higher level of doing things. And the applications that we use for that stuff haven't been developed for Roku.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Up until this announcement that Amazon is going to change the base operating system Fire TV platform, these Fire TV sticks have been some of the best streaming devices for performance and for price. And so now there's kind of, for the same kind of activities that we've been doing with them, we're going to have to move to probably a Google TV. That's what I've heard being recommended. Google TV, which is Android based, Google front end to. What were we looking? What was it? Were we looking at it last week? Those boxes on Amazon that were going fetching like $199, $200. I was
What were they
recommending.
called?
What's that?
What were they called?
Some box.
I think it was last week,
Yeah,
but yes, I
some
do.
box. But I was really dissuading who was talking about it from being interested in those
It was
systems.
Smart Box.
What was that?
Smart Box.
Smart Box? Is that what they were called?
Yeah.
The because of that price point, because I think there's so many of these kinds of devices available, right? Oh, I don't think that's it. Storage. Superbox. Which now I'm giving them free publicity. Yeah, this.
And see, that doesn't sound familiar from last week at all. But maybe I had clicked off by then.
Maybe, but $399 for a device that does this, when I know that in the marketplace there's $80 devices, I wouldn't be interested in that product. And we've been doing those kinds of activities with Fire Sticks, and you guys know how inexpensive that is. Yeah, Judy.
I have a different topic when you're ready to move on.
No, please go ahead. I just wanted to follow up with Jim's.
I just had read this morning that AT&T may be leaving Mexico.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
I read that too. That was in the expat thing this morning. 2 point something billion because they just can't compete with Telcel.
Oh, how history repeats it. That is so funny.
How horrible. I wonder what that's going to mean for those of us that use AT&T as their provider.
I wondered the same thing.
Doesn't it just mean that Carlos Slim's going to gobble them up? buy
Well-
them for pittance.
But will it change our signal strength and our performance? Like I've always been not on AT&T Mexico, but on AT&T US.
Exactly, me too.
And I don't know if AT&T Mexico going under or being sold or taken over, whatever the event is, how it affects those of us that use AT&T.
That is a really good question because you're not using AT&T Mexico. As far as AT&T Mexico goes, I would assume it would do nothing but give them better coverage and more opportunities to be connected because they're not going to just dangle there doing nothing or shut them off. They're going to sell them off probably to a Carlos Slim entity. And then that would merge them into the same network that exists. But what you're asking about is very much the contracts that go between carriers internationally, the international contracts that go between carriers, and this is when those things break and have to be renegotiated. So that's that. I think that's a really interesting question. I can't imagine what's going to happen though. The last time they did this, we didn't have so much. I mean, it was landlines. It wasn't cell lines. The last time this happened in Mexico, it was landlines. It was long distance specifically. And I remember that they got out. They actually sued Telmex, and they got out because it was like where AT&T is accustomed to paying 10 cents a minute, Telmex was charging them $1 a minute. It seems like it was a power of 10 difference between what the American carrier was expecting and what the Mexican carrier was offering. And so they did the same thing. They stayed in the market for a number of years trying to compete, or getting knocked out of it. Sorry guys, I don't know what that does for your international AT&T service. Guess we'll have to find out.
The other thing about Mexico that I have a question for all of you guys is the toll roads. I've been reading about the now there's some initials. It's like the automatic payment at the toll booths. There's a infrared card or something, a debit card type thing system set up.
I'm not familiar.
I read about that also, but I don't know why you would do that. How many times do you use the toll road?
Well,
How many times do I use the toll road?
Yeah, how many times would you use it?
Every time we come down and every time we go back up to Phoenix.
That's twice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but we're going to be living in Alamos and coming to Guaymas. But the whole point was that it says by January 1st, it's going to be no cash at the toll booths.
Oh, that's
You
interesting.
have to. They're slowly phasing it out or something.
It seems.
How many?
It seems hard to believe that if they were, then maybe what they're trying to do is move to like a tap to pay kind of situation. But the cards only make sense if you're a resident in that area. Like you have to cross that toll every day, doesn't it?
Oh, because what the one that was posted in our new Alamos group was a government thing saying that this is being phased in and that there will be no cash accepted at the toll booths by the end of January 26.
But when you think that I mean, like we'll have to look into it. But when you think that what that means is electronic payment only.
Oh, you mean like with my credit card or?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I understood it was.
How many people don't have a credit card? How many people how many Mexicans Mexican nationals don't have a credit card. How many people wouldn't have this card? That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, and I didn't read like that. It read this actual something, electronic funds transfer from your something or other account. And you set it up at the OXXO and you use it on your phone, and it's not really a card. It's all, I don't know, but I need to find out more about it, I guess. But
Looking for.
I can't remember where I did read it, but I've read it a couple of places, but it just doesn't make sense. I mean, if I was a trucker, yes,
Yeah, if you're a
that would make
trucker or you
sense.
lived in that local area and you had to use that road every day.
I don't know, but I did read it a couple of places.
This is funny. Just found a website called Toll Group. Oh, that was a. I'm getting. Cashless payment. Cashless. I just got an AI response. Electronic. Credit cards no longer accepted at toll booths except for. Boring. Um. Well, Gemini AI
There's
says
a
that
YouTube something. I just found a YouTube something about it.
Gemini AI is saying that cash lanes will remain available into 2026. There's what's called the toll tag at OXXO. Well, what's clear is it's not very clear. We're going to leave this computer club with more questions than answers.
I found a news article. I don't know what CAPUFE is. To implement mandatory toll tags by 2026. The mandatory use of electronic tags at federal toll booths will officially begin in 2026, according to Federal Roads and Bridges. That's what it stands for,
Yeah.
which has denied rumors of an immediate rollout as an August implementation.
Okay, so people are saying stuff like what you said. They're saying, no, it's not going to be until 2020, which is just around the corner as well.
But it also says federal. And are they talking about the federal zone? Or are they, which would be Mexico City, and you could understand, or
Sorry, guys.
CAPFE is like the company that runs the highways.
Yeah, the federal zones. We have family here. We're about to do a big transaction, selling our Jeep to the boys. So
All right. Well, good luck.
we will hopefully check in with you guys next week. And after that, we'll be in a new home. So take care, everybody.
Sounds great.
Bye.
Have a
Happy
good one.
move.
Well, Judy, I agree with you on that as far as we're in this free zone. It seems like they're going to make it as easy as possible for us to keep paying them stuff. As tourists, as travelers, it seems like if we're coming through, they're going to want us to pay them. And if
There also is not an OXXO before the first toll that you could even get this.
right, like at the very least, getting into Mexico,
Right.
they're going to have to make that available for cash. I suspect all the way down we'll continue to have a cash lane indefinitely.
I think probably all over. I just can't imagine.
Well,
I don't know.
I can imagine it because, well, for example, we've got a culture now that's conditioned for like the OXO expense. Like the prepaid cell phones. You can't use them until you pay for them. And so you go to OXO and you pay for them. So I can see that kind of transitioning over to this getting through the toll zones. Oh, I got to stop by OXO and fill up my electronic tag so that I can get through the toll road. I can see that kind of habit being transferred over to the toll road thing. But that's just me speculating on stuff. This is the first time I've even heard of any of this.
It first came out, I read the first time like the end of July, maybe.
Well, it's interesting.
I just can't imagine, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, no, but I agree with you. I mean, we've been around before they allowed credit cards, before you could take credit cards anywhere, and
Well,
growing
and I didn't even know that you could pay your toll with a credit card.
right.
I've never seen that as an option.
Well, and what I was just reading is it was an option that they've taken away, except for tourist area.
But I've not ever seen it in our tourist area.
Well, have you ever tried to pay with a credit card?
No, nor would I, but
Yeah. I mean, like I've never sat at a toll booth going, "Oh my God, I don't have any cash. What can I
Right.
do?"
I don't think I've ever seen anybody ahead of me give them a credit card either.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they do. Who knows? But
maybe.
again, I think we'll see. Maybe it'll work.
Well, if we don't have our own topics, if you folks don't have other things, it's Judy, Chester, and Dad, and I'm gonna move on to the next thing that we've got going on here, and maybe we'll come back to the electronic tags that you can get it. It just riffing on what we were just talking about. I could see them offering a link on their smartphone to go fill up one of these tags. Yeah, we'll have to get more information about it. Well, anyway, there is back in the news some information about Denmark is copywriting your features. Their laws are to protect you from deep fake stuff and basically give you the ability to file claim against anything that's using your likeness without your permission, which I think is a very Bill of Digital Rights kind of thing. It's encompassing. Yeah, I think that what it does is it allows. Oh, listen to that. It allows a hurt party to file a grievance against the system that made it, the person that made it, anyone that's using their likeness without their permission, without having already got their permission. So I think it opens a thing up so that it can be used for a number of personal things while maintaining the liability in those services. So if something explicit were to happen, it seems like a very simple solution. Basically, my face is mine. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to read this. I like the idea that you could copyright your own image. If you saw this from months ago, but the AI generated the palm of the Pope that this is before he passed away, I think, in a poofy jacket. That was all the rage on the internet. Put it in the article to represent digital images being manipulated outside of control. If he was Danish, he could file suit. I think that's the point. Well, what else did I bring? I thought you guys would be interested. I can't remember how many of these we talked about last week. Did we talk about the mysterious QR codes? Because this is a thing that I never considered. When we talk about QR codes, I think of it as providing web addresses or information. And what this reminds you is that you can't read a QR code. Like, your human eyes can't tell what's actually in that code. And if the code ends up taking you somewhere malicious, you don't know until after the fact. And it immediately sparked in me this concern that we have not been having, that we probably need to talk more about. Because even like at the last event, the last Seguros y Sanos run, one of the things we did was we posted a QR code all over the event so people could see the results.
And we did talk about the dangers of QR codes at that time, because that's something that I find very insidious, and that unless you're aware of it, I mean, to look at a menu at a restaurant, you have to do a QR code. No, I don't. If you want me to eat in your restaurant, you can hand me a piece of paper.
Well,
And that's how I feel about all of it.
What I think I'm appreciating here is a concern that I had not had before. That say they only have a QR code posted and a malicious actor comes along and changes it. Because it's not obvious in a QR code whether it's obvious in a web address. If you're going to Amazon.com, that makes a lot of sense to you. Going to Amazon, this is a trick.com, as long as you're reading that and seeing, oh, wait a second, that's not where I want to go, and you're able to make that judgment. A QR code doesn't give you that option. So a QR posted, like if we think about this, a QR code posted in, for example, a hotel room to give you access to the Wi-Fi code. A QR code sitting on a table at a restaurant. This article is talking about an even more deceptive way of using QR codes, and that's in these unexpected packages that might arrive, things that are sent and sold to as like an Amazon delivery, and part of dealing with that delivery has you dealing with a QR code. This article doesn't talk about this as being a very predominant scam at the moment, but we have been lulled into this experience where we're very, very quick to use QR codes. And you may be trying a QR code that's put on the side of a box that's been sent to you, or you may have even opened up the box and found a QR quality card inside it for you to help find customer support. Maybe a box has showed up with you and you don't know what to do with it, and so you go ahead and open it, and it's got some product or something in it, and there's a QR code. That could easily be leading you to some fictitious site, at the very worst, a malicious site that causes your device to go off and do something. So I think, Judy, if we've talked in this reference before, I think we probably need to talk more about it. I've always thought QR codes are really convenient, but the thought that they can take you off to something malicious that could cause your device to do something, I don't think gets enough thought. And the idea that, like right now, we have to be concerned about putting our credit cards on gas pumps that have had skimmers put on top of them. But this is just you're just following a QR code. For some reason, we think that QR codes are just part of our daily lives, our way to do work. But this is an example of how they can be exploited. Well,
I think you really made a good point with those, Scott. I don't know how to use them in the first place, but it sure looks like you could have some inappropriate stuff plugged into a QR code and you wouldn't even know it.
Yeah, and because it's not human readable, there's no way for you to discern whether it's the correct information or not. So it would be very easy for someone to go into a hotel lobby, say, and replace a sign that says Wi-Fi access here, and you with a QR code that actually takes them to a website that takes advantage of known vulnerabilities in the device. Well, what else do we have? Stop me if we've talked about some of this. Did we talk about the age verification that's going on in the UK right now? Oh, just got a smiley face from my daughter. Yuya and Viviana last night were put on a plane to go back to Phoenix, and they are driving back to Mexico today. The best of luck. Emily and I have been left here to finish the bed and breakfast season, and we're so sad. So Spotify might start acting strange. In fact, I was sharing this with Viviana earlier, because she was telling me that her Spotify was acting really strange on her phone, just giving her bad results and things she couldn't open up. And what's going on right at this moment in the UK, they've passed an Online Safety Act that requires age verification. And there's content on Spotify that is considered adult material. And so if you're under a certain age, you're not supposed to be able to get access to it. And up until now, there hasn't been a way of verifying a user's age. What this indicates is that Spotify now is using a third party for age verification. The third party is an age verification business, and they promise that they only keep your photo and photo of your documentation for the verification process and report to Spotify that you are verified, and then they delete that data. So there is something weird about handing all that information over to another organization. At the same time, it may be the best way to do this sort of thing is to have an organization that's doing age verification. But it's something on the horizon we need to be watching, because there's already, I think I read that there's 3 states in the United States requiring age verification. Who does and how the age verification happens becomes a privacy and security issue. So if you're being asked to verify your age, you want to think about how they're asking you to verify your age. I'm suspecting a lot of us are not going to be hassled with this at all, but we definitely have another generation of people behind us that'll probably be dealing with this. And there is security issues, privacy issues associated with who you hand that information to, who you scan a passport and send it to. Just like we've seen data compromises in the past, there's no reason to not think that this will be one of those areas.
Well, talking about verification, I didn't share with you my experience, Scott. I'm getting ready to teach a class at Alaska Pacific University, one that I teach regularly. And I've been teaching with them off and on since 1989. And I couldn't get into my account. I don't do anything with my website until I'm getting close to preparing for the class. And I couldn't get in, and I kept going around and around. My password wasn't being accepted and that type of thing. And so I finally got a hold of somebody in IT, and I must have spent a half hour on the phone trying to get verified with him. And finally he said, I think I'm going to have you come in so I can see you in person. And I thought that was pretty odd. I said, I've been teaching there a long time. I don't understand why I need to do this. And so he talked to his boss, and he said, yeah, you really ought to have him come in. So I had to go over there and physically show them my driver's license
Oh, wow.
before they would even let me get set up in my class.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure. I mean, that's a way to do verification, isn't it? You didn't have to digitalize anything. They weren't responsible for having a digital copy of your ID floating through the system.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. This was with the university here, right?
Yeah, Alaska Pacific University.
Yeah.
And they, well, like I said, I've been with them for a long time, and I was just surprised that I couldn't jump through the hoops without going in physically. And even then, when I got there, it spent about a half hour. It wasn't just like showing them my ID and that's all there was to it. They had to put me on a computer and have me do some things to get my class set up. So
I wonder if some of that isn't simply because you've been working for them for so long. Like maybe they've tightened some stuff up that was really loose before, so you were having to catch up.
yeah, I'm suspecting that that's the case. When you think about it, I mean, in my website, I can go in and change grades and things like that. So if anybody had access to that, then it'd give them pretty free rein playing around within the university.
Well,
So I think,
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to comment that it's so often in these legacy systems, these systems that have been around for, if you've been around, you're the one that's forgotten about until the last.
Boy, that's really true, because they actually even forget to set up my class. So that's part of what I've been waiting for, is for them to just set it up on their end so I can get started.
Yeah, when they're hiring new people or they're putting new people into the system, that's when they find everything that's missing. But when they're updating old people, that's when stuff is forgotten, because they don't know what is new to be known, or what new access needs to be added.
Yes. Well, anyway, I just thought that was interesting verification. Fortunately, it didn't make much difference to me. I
Right?
was taking your mother over to the hospital. It wasn't too far from APU, so it was easy to fit into my schedule. But anyway, just surprised that it was necessary.
How's everybody doing? I see this call is going to end in 4 minutes. I do have other topics with me that we could discuss, or we could call it an end to this meeting. And I mean, we haven't been on very long here. I will start up the next meeting if you guys want to jump over to it. Judy's
Not me. I'm logging out.
okay, Judy. And Chester, Dad, how are you guys feeling? You want to keep this up?
No, I'm just
ready
soon
to
put it
call it
off
good.
to next week.
I'm sorry, Chester. What'd you say?
I said, I just soon put it off to next week.
Okay. I am Pop. I'm sure you're up in the air either way.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Thanks, Scott.
It just seems like, since there's only the three of us left, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us to keep going on. And I'm happy to keep some of these things for next week if they're not stale by then. And as always, it's good talking to you guys. Let me know if I can
Adios.
help with anything out there in your computer world.
My food.
All right. Thanks, Scott.
Talk to you later, Pop.
Bye.
Adios. And that was our meeting. It was a short meeting. It was the San Carlos Computer Club every Tuesday at 10. I wore this cap to show it off, but I forgot to mention it. But my buddy Sid gave me this cap, and looks pretty cool. I don't really wear baseball caps, but this one looks really pretty. See that? That artwork on the side there? Very cool. Anyway, this is San Carlos Computer Club. This is Scott Stimson from International Solutions. If you like anything we're doing here, check out our website. We're also on X still. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Facebook. And if you're looking for remote computer IT support and assistance, you can get a hold of Scott at. Okay, back on.